Hey there guys, what's going on? I'm Vile Self, bringing you some cranked gameplay on the map Strike Zone. I'm gonna have two gameplays for you here. Both are cranked and both are Strike Zone. I seem to do pretty good on this map with this game mode. This is probably my favorite new game mode in Call of Duty Ghosts. It seems to be a lot of fun, a lot of fast-paced action, and I sort of like that in Call of Duty. It keeps the pace up, and there's not many campers, and I really like that. So that's what my gameplay is going to be here. But right now I'm going to talk to you guys about something that is being tossed around the internet right now, and a lot of people are kind of freaking out because it's kind of looking like Sony might have pulled a 180 and introduced a bunch of new DRM policies into the Sony Entertainment Network terms of service. And before you get your panties all up in a bunch and start screaming and canceling your PS4 pre-orders, just hear me out, and I'm going to tell you guys and show you guys a little bit of proof of why you shouldn't be worried about this. So apparently the terms of service for the UK branch of the Sony Entertainment Network were shown, and there's some new information in there regarding the ability to sell, trade, and what you're allowed to do with your games once you purchase them. And this goes for physical games as well as digitally downloaded games. So I'm just going to read to you a little bit about from the terms of service itself. I'll read you the part that's got people up in a bunch, and then I'm going to elaborate on it a little bit, and then I'm going to show you a few things, a few little bits of proof that show you that you don't really need to worry about this, and it's more for legal purposes than anything that any of us really need to worry about. So here we go. So in the terms of service, section 6, limitations on your use of software. 6.1, your license to use software is a non-exclusive, non-transferable license to use this software for private use only on the applicable authorized system, as indicated on the box for disk-based software, in the product description for software downloads, or otherwise notified by us to you from time to time, and only in Europe, the Middle East, Africa, India, Russia, and Oceania. Section 6.2 says, you must not use software commercially, broadcast it, charge for its use, or make other public performance of it without express permission from us, and if the publisher is another company, additionally from that publisher. Section 6.3. You must not lease, rent, sublicense, publish, modify, adapt, or translate any portion of the software. Section 6.4. You must not emulate the software. Section 6.5. To the fullest extent permitted by law, you must not reverse engineer, decompile, or disassemble any portion of the software, or create any derivative works, or otherwise attempt to create source code from software object code. Section 6.6. You must not use any means to bypass or disable any encryption, security, or authentication mechanisms for the authorization systems, or to gain unauthorized access, or to interfere with any account, service, hardware, software, or network connection to Sony Entertainment Network. Number 7. Resale. Section 7.1. You must not resell either disk-based software or software downloads unless expressly authorized by us, and if the publisher is another company, additionally by the publisher. So yeah, if you were just to read that, you would be like, holy crap, I'm not allowed to sell my games, I'm not allowed to trade my games, I'm not allowed to do anything. But you really got to understand that these types of terms are written in a very vague, broadened way, because there's a little thing called loopholes, and if companies don't express rules in a broad way, then people will always find loopholes to get in and around them, and they can beat the system like that. So when they say things like you must not lease, rent, sublicense, publish, modify, adapt, or translate any portion of the software, basically to me, what that means is if you're like a vendor, like let's say you're a vendor at a flea market, or you're a top seller on eBay or something like that, you're not allowed to resell their products for your own personal gain as a business. Now, if you have a game and you bought it yourself and you've enjoyed it for your own personal pleasure, and you want to sell it to a friend, or you want to sell it on eBay, or you want to, you know, trade it in at GameStop or whatever, by all means, you will still be allowed to do that. I do not think Sony is going back on their words when they said you can do this. I think this terms of service is basically just to cover their ass, and most of this stuff has to do with piracy, where it's like, you know, you're not allowed to, you know, what did it say? You're not allowed to bypass or disable any encryption, any security measures. You're not allowed to reverse engineer it, or you know, create a source code from the software object code. These are all things that people do try to do, and they do succeed. And these are things that Sony, obviously as a company, they have to put this in their terms of service, because it is illegal to do these things. And if it's not written somewhere, then people will get away with it. And that's an issue. So they have to put this stuff in their terms of service to cover their ass, basically. Now, obviously people have been reaching out to Sony, and Sony has replied back, not in an official way, but I'll just show you guys what I'm talking about. It was on Twitter, posted here. At Dark1PR asked, "Hi, people are canceling PS4 pre-orders. They say that's due to the new terms of service, which have a lot of DRM policies. You guys lied?" And Shuhei Yoshida simply replied with no. That is a pretty vague answer, but the answer he gave is no. They didn't lie. They were truthful of what they said. And, you know, pretty much you guys don't have anything to worry about. Another example is here. AnimeBlog_DE says, "So do you guys have the old Microsoft DRM after all?" Which again, Shuhei Yoshida replies simply no. Last but not least, here we have at PS4 Fab asking, "Hi, can you please explain this? Can I sell my games on PS4? Shuhei Yoshida simply replies, "Yes." It's pretty cut and dry to me. You can still sell your games. It's pretty cut and dry to me anyway, and I think to anybody with a logical mind, that these new terms and service agreements are mostly to do with piracy and people that want to sell games in the underground market and kind of, you know, burn games and sell copies and stuff like that. Those are the kind of people they're trying to prevent. It's basically illegal activity is what these terms and services are stating. I mean, Sony's already expressed that you're allowed to trade your games, sell them, lend them to friends, all of that stuff. So they can't exactly go out on the words on that. There's video footage, there's you know, images on the internet, there's the video of Shuhei Yoshida trading the games with the guy, and like as that little joke, a little stab at Microsoft. But I mean, so if you ever traded your game and somebody came knocking on your door saying, "Hey, you illegally traded your PlayStation 4 game, you know, Sony's filing a lawsuit against you," you have plenty of evidence that shows Sony told you you were allowed to do that. So believe me, guys, this is not for everybody. This is just for people that are engaging in illegal activity, and Sony has every right to put these rules in place for those kind of scenarios. So don't cancel your PS4 pre-orders, guys. If you have any other proof that this may be, you know, true and or false, I would like to see it, so send it my way. Otherwise, greatness awaits. We got a few more days left. I can't wait. I'm Vile Self. Thanks for watching. See you later.